Back here with Keegan Jensen, our Iowa Hawkeye wrestling insider, as we continue to talk about the wild offseason that is what Tom and Terry Brands have on their hands. Gabe Arnold being one point of contention, drama, whatever you want to call it, as just 1 month ago, we were talking about Gabe Arnold's departure from Iowa wrestling. And now we're talking about his return, or I guess lack of departure, the departure that never actually happened. A little bit of confusion in there. But I think all in all, good news for Iowa wrestling. So we're going to talk about this, the impact, the ripple effect that it could have on the lineup. And this is a young man with 3 years of eligibility still in front of him. Before we get to that information and Keegan's reaction to the news that Gabe Arnold's back, I want to give a big shout out to Under the Kitchen. That's Randy Engel, his authentic Hawkeye prints, and so relevant for this segment because Randy will be actually live on location with none other than Angelo Ferrari and Stephen Buchanan this Sunday, the 17th of August, from 3 to 4 p.m. at the Coralville Lantern Park Hy-Vee. So if you want to get a signed print and meet those two awesome wrestlers, Angelo Ferrari and Stephen Buchanan, be sure you head over to the Coralville Lantern Park Hy-Vee, 3 to 4 p.m. Sunday. You can also visit underthekitchen.square.site or check out Under the Kitchen on Facebook and browse the selection of authentic Hawkeye signed and unsigned prints. So we are here to talk about Gabe Arnold and the effect his return could have on people like Angelo Ferrari, Patrick Kennedy, go down the list. Keegan, when this news broke about a week ago, we were in the middle of kind of getting all primed for Iowa Football Media Day and, of course, the open scrimmage on Saturday, so we didn't cover it here on the channel. We're here to talk about it now. The Des Moines Register reporting this, and I think it's been confirmed by other outlets. Gabe Arnold has reportedly confirmed it to the Register. Neither you nor I have spoke with Gabe personally. But the latest here in this whole saga is that Gabe Arnold was, quote, never officially off the roster, which is odd. That's reportedly what a U of I spokesperson told the Des Moines Register here in the last week. Whereas about a month ago, a spokesman reportedly told at least one media outlet that he was no longer on the roster. So I'm not going to sit here and rip Iowa because obviously there's things going on behind the scenes. You had talked about this a few weeks back when we initially talked about Gabe Arnold, that you had heard rumblings that maybe he had a pathway to return to Iowa. You had expressed that you thought his best path forward was a return to Iowa, just given his lack of options with the transfer portal being closed, et cetera, et cetera. Just give me your, first of all, your initial take to the news that broke here days ago that former NCAA 184 qualifier Gabe Arnold is expected to remain with the Hawkeye wrestling program.
Yeah, I mean, for starters, it's good and bad. The bad is that it's a bad look for Iowa to have a guy potentially kicked off the team and then now he's staying with the team. It's bad press. But the good news is they are keeping a valuable wrestler, and it was Gabe Arnold's best route for his career. Who knows the implications that this will have on the lineup, considering that you have Patrick Kennedy and Ferrari around that weight class, but it's good to see that he's returning. Who knows what all it entailed. The rumors were that he kind of had a couple tasks that he had to do to prove to the team that he was meant and fit to stay. Who knows exactly what happened and what the Brands brothers had him do, but it's good to see that he's coming back, bottom line, but it is bad press for Iowa as a whole, I feel like.
Whatever needed to happen has happened, apparently. But as again, I'm going to make very clear, not ripping Iowa, but the Register reported about a month ago that a program spokesperson, that's a quote from the Register, a program spokesperson told the Register that Gabe Arnold was no longer on the roster. So whatever happened, it sounds like at least some of that is under the bridge. We'll wait and see. It's not like Iowa has been at a loss for drama this offseason. Whether we're talking about Gabe Arnold or we're talking about the issue or the incident that allegedly occurred at the Reunion Brewery in Iowa City, and we've discussed that at length, and there's other storylines we've not gotten around to yet. But let's talk a little bit about the impact, not just on this 2025 campaign, but the next 3 years ahead, because Gabe Arnold has 3 years of eligibility remaining. He was an NCAA qualifier at 184. And, you know, I think the overall theme here is at 5'7", given maybe the competition at 184, that he's got a better chance of competing at 174. However, a guy named Patrick Kennedy is returning for, I believe, one final year of eligibility.
Mhm.
Tell us a little bit about the situation there.
Yeah, so Patrick Kennedy is coming off a fantastic season in which he placed at the national tournament, and he just kind of held that weight class down for Iowa and was great down the stretch, much better than Arnold was, to be frank. So the fact that he is coming back, he got an extra year of eligibility. I doubt he would have taken that year of eligibility if he didn't think he was going to step into this lineup and compete in his final year. But he falls into that 174 weight class, and it sounds like 184 is not up for grabs. That sounds like it's going to Angelo Ferrari. It's kind of a given. So you expect there to be some kind of competition between Kennedy and Arnold for 174. Either way, you're going to have a valuable wrestler sitting on the bench. And you could see a mix. You could see, depending on the matchup, maybe Arnold goes out for this duel, Kennedy goes out for this duel, and then they battle it out throughout the year, see who does better, see who gets to compete when the conference tournament comes around. But it's a tough situation. I mean, you hate that for either guy. You don't want to see Kennedy lose his final year, and you don't want to see Arnold lose a great year of eligibility, considering he still is a sophomore. To lose a full year of eligibility after winning a couple matches of the national tournament is just an unfortunate scenario. So who knows if the brands will have him do, a few wrestle-offs to decide that. If their competition on the mat will decide that. Who knows how it's going to play out, but it is going to have a massive ripple effects on this lineup, top to bottom, honestly.
How do you explain the hot start from Arnold last year? I mean, it's 12-0, and then down the stretch, he just struggles. He goes 3-2 at the Big Ten championships, and then goes 500 in Philly at the NCAAs. How do you explain that? And momentum-wise, is there indication, especially with some of the off-season stuff that we've seen now, that maybe there were things off the mat happening at that time?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I don't like to speculate maybe what was going on off the mat. It's hard to tell. We have no confirmation from the program itself, but it's hard not to look at it from an analytical lens and be like, how did he start out so hot last year? I mean, he was great when he was a redshirt freshman and he wrestled a few matches in the starting lineup, and he had a great match against Iowa State that helped Iowa clinch the duel. And a lot of people were thinking this is going to be the guy. He comes in, finally getting the opportunity to start as a freshman, and he kills it, wins 12 matches straight to start the year. He's looking, I think he was ranked in the top 8, so he was looking like a prime guy to go stand on the podium at the end of the year, thinking maybe he's going to compete for a title by the end of his senior year. And then the second half of the year comes around. He loses to a couple guys he beat early on in the year. He has a rough conference tournament, just as bad national tournament. And you're kind of left thinking, well, what was going on there behind the scenes that led to this derailing of what should have been an incredible year? And then on the other hand, you have Patrick Kennedy, who's had his struggles in the past, comes through in the second half of the year and thrives, finds himself his first podium placement. And now he's coming back looking stronger than ever. It leads you to believe, what are the brands having Arnold do to prove that that's not going to happen again? What were the struggles last year? What did Kennedy do that helped him thrive? And how can we get both guys in the right headspace and ready to compete going into this year?
Have we heard anything on Jordan Williams? Is that jury still out?
I've heard some sources, nothing confirmed from Iowa itself, but it sounds like he will be staying with the program from what I've heard. Considering that this incident took place when he wasn't technically with the team yet, it sounds like he'll stay, but yeah, definitely.
It seems like there's a lot of stuff that happens with this program that happens when a competitor is not technically with the program. And then it's like, how do you handle it? Am I correct in saying, well, I think I am, right? The Ferrari kid that is not with Iowa. Who am I thinking of? The small school kid.
AJ Ferrari.
AJ.
Yeah.
He was expected to come. I mean, again, if this is the first segment you've watched here from the Hawkeye of the Storm, you'll learn real fast. I am not up on wrestling. That's why we have Keegan here. But am I correct in saying that whole incident with the leg split and the middle fingers, wasn't that before? He was never technically part of Iowa. He had been committed at that time.
Yeah,
am I right?
Yeah. I think he was committed to Iowa and he was working out with Iowa, I want to say, and kind of.
And why did he flip the bird to the whole crowd? What was that all about?
There was a situation where he was wrestling the person that ended up becoming the 197-pound starter for Iowa. He was wrestling him in the finals at this tournament, just an open tournament. Yeah. And the match, obviously, they kind of got heated throughout the match. I don't know what happened. There was kind of some shoves exchanged at the end of the match, and then the crowd's kind of booing him because those are teammates pushing each other. He flips the birds, walks off the mat, and is never wrestles for Iowa after that.
What a stupid situation. Yeah. I'm sorry. Anyways, all right. Well, this is a Gabe Arnold segment, but I'm glad we talked about this because, again, I just saw the social media post when it happened. And I wish the best for this kid. I'm wondering, Gabe Arnold, his success against Iowa State, would he have had a spot at 184 had he looked into transferring to Iowa State? I mean, I know that, again, the situation was murky with portal rules, but would Iowa State have been able to take him? He's a state of Iowa kid.
Yeah, I mean, he could definitely find himself a place in Iowa State's lineup, whether that's at 174 or 184. Okay. I mean, Arnold's talented enough to start at many programs throughout the nation.
I bring that up only because he's with the program right now, but that doesn't mean he's going to remain with the program. He wouldn't be able to leave until after this coming season anyways. So as we talked about before, it was in his best interest to return. It would have been a difficult thing to leave and try to find another home without technically being able to talk to coaches. And, maybe he leaves next year. It's always possible he does that. But I think we are on the same page, Keegan, saying he'll have a better chance of starting at 174 in 2026 if he sticks around, even through a potential Patrick Kennedy starting year at 174. Keegan, appreciate you taking the time here, sir. If people aren't familiar with Keegan, he does have a X account. I got him on Twitter, so people can give him a follow over there. Have you been posting anything, Keegan?
No, I have not. I've reposted a couple of your things, but nothing else.
We got to get you back up on social media going strong. I know it's can be a cesspool, but anyways, we'll work on that. And folks, Keegan was with me over at Iowa Football Media Day last week. We'll have video footage. We'll continue to pump out video footage from that all the way up until game week, August 30th. Of course, we're talking football. Keegan, appreciate you being here, sir, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.